everybody, it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. It is the beginning of a new month, which means it's now time to recap everything that happened in August here in my quilty and crafty journey. So let's talk about everything that happened in August. So starting off the month of August, I went to the Plano quilt show. I entered the quilt that you see behind me into that show. This quilt was one that I wasn't originally going to be entering into shows. I just really liked it, and it was more of a personal quilt for me. But since I wasn't able to enter my Daydreamer quilt into this show, into the Plano show, due to timelines overlapping with the State Fair of Texas, I decided to go ahead and put a sleeve on this one and enter it into the show in hopes that maybe it might get a ribbon, but unfortunately in Plano it did not. But that's okay. I'm just super excited to have my work displayed, and also the work of my quilter who worked really hard on this one. She did some custom quilting on this one and she did an amazing job. Love it, and I am so glad that other people got to enjoy it while I was in the show. I had never been to the Plano Quilt Show before, and I'm so glad that I found out about it and was able to enter and actually go see the show. Really great show, and I got to meet some really awesome people there as well and start some new friendships with some great people. Can't wait for those friendships to keep growing, and it was just a really fun time, so I'm so glad that I went. So like I said, it was a very busy month, so I literally went to the Plano show, and after the show was over with, picked up my quilt on a Saturday, and then Sunday I had to turn this quilt in and another mini quilt that I entered into the North Texas Quilt Festival, which is one of my favorite shows here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That show, of course, did not disappoint again this year. Lots of wonderful talent and amazingly beautiful quilts on display, and I was pleasantly surprised to find out that this quilt had won honorable mention. As you can see right there, I've got the wonderful ribbon attached to it, so that brings my ribbon count to 3, at least for now. And yeah, it was a wonderful surprise to get honorable mention in that show, and I loved it a lot. Another reason why I was so excited for this show was I had been asked to submit artwork to possibly be the t-shirt, the official t-shirt design for the North Texas Quilt Festival, and was pleasantly surprised when they picked my design. So it was really cool getting to walk around the show and see everybody wearing my artwork on their t-shirt and being like, oh, I drew that. I made that. It was a really extremely amazing experience, kind of surreal to be honest, but it was super exciting, and I couldn't have been happier that they chose my artwork for it. It was a lot of fun, and I'm so glad I got the opportunity to do that. So honestly, I think the North Texas Quilt Festival was a huge success for me personally. I got an honorable mention ribbon, and my artwork was the official t-shirt design. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, you might have noticed that I talked about 3 ribbons, but said, hold on, wait, there'll be more about that later. Well, I was pleasantly surprised to hear from the State Fair of Texas that my quilt came in 2nd place in the quilts competition. I cannot believe it. I am just so excited that in the whole state of Texas, I got 2nd place. How freaking cool is that? That also means that I'll have to actually go out to the state fair this year and see my quilt on display. Last time I was out there was in 2019. In fact, the shirt is from the 2019 fair when I was there last. So excited to go out there and actually see my quilt hung up on display for all of the fair to see. I kind of wonder if my quilt is going to come home smelling like a corny dog, and that may not be a bad thing, but anyways, I'm so excited to see it out there, and if you happen to make it to the State Fair of Texas, make sure to go check out the Arts and Crafts building to see my quilts on display. I'm just so excited for that. Also this month was registration for Quilt Con. If you're not familiar with Quilt Con, it is like any other con. It is a collection of modern quilts that go on display. There are classes, there are vendors, there are community things. There's a whole lot going on, and it's going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina in 2024, February of 2024. Super excited for it and can't wait to be going back this year. I did grab my free ticket. If you are a part of a modern quilt group, either a group or if you do sign up for an individual membership, you do get access to the show for free. And then you can sign up for any classes or anything else that you want to sign up for. I unfortunately did not get the class. I had one class that I had wanted to take, but unfortunately I did not get that class. So it doesn't look like I'll be taking any classes this year, but that's okay. There's a lot of community and a lot of spending time with friends that I'm going to be doing, so I'm okay with that. Little bummed, but honestly super okay with it, and just can't wait for that event to happen. I'll be going with Becca and Tiffany and Mary and a whole bunch of different people. We're going to have a great time. So if you end up going to Quilt Con, make sure to say hi to me. I would love to say hi. I do have a finish to talk about this month. I finished the line work seasonal 4 challenge that we started over on Tiffany's channel. I'll put a link to that video up in the iCards and down in the description below. Make sure to check that out if you haven't already. That happened a few months ago, and I got my quilt back from my quilter and put the binding on. Love a good stripy binding, and it came out perfect for this quilt. I do need to put a label on it, so it's not technically done, but it is sure very close to it. And I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with this one. I'm not super attached to it, so I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to give it as a gift or maybe sell it. I haven't quite decided yet, but hopefully I can make up my mind soon and give it a new home, hopefully sooner rather than later. Speaking of the seasonal 4, I am prepping my materials for the next one that's coming up in September. I don't think we've officially announced anything yet, but stay tuned. That information will be coming sooner rather than later, so make sure to stay tuned to my channel and my social media, as well as my other friends who are going to be taking part in that. It's going to be lots of fun, and it's a spooky kind of Halloween challenge this time. Halloween, fall, got to stick with that. I'm partial to Halloween, but that's not everybody's jam, so it's a Halloween/fall challenge. You won't want to miss that. And of course, that one will be hosted here on my channel, so make sure to stay tuned to my channel to find out more. And speaking of my quilter, I dropped off 4 other quilts for her to work on, so she now has 5 of my quilts to work on. She's going to be busy for the months to come. She's working those in to her schedule as others are available, as the time permits, basically. So can't wait to see those quilts come back, but my wallet will definitely appreciate some time in between each of them. That's okay though. She does amazing work, and she's 100% worth it. Some other projects that I've been working on, of course, would be the puzzle mystery quilt. We had the Village Green clue and Carnival clue, got those done, and super excited. We're getting close to finishing one, and we're just starting off on the other. And speaking of cotton cuts, I received a cotton cuts Stitch It box from Katie, Greenland Quilter. I'll put a link to her channel down in the description below. Make sure to go check her out. But she sent me one of the Stitch It boxes from Cotton Cuts. It's basically pre-cut pieces that you get to kind of choose your own adventure with. I used Sylvia when I was house sitting and got to put some of those pieces together, and they came out great. I also worked on some of them on one of my Sunday Live, later in the month. So I actually did it twice this month. I did it at the beginning of the month and at the end of the month. So go check out those videos. I'll put links to those in the description as well. On a more personal and serious note, I lost a friend to suicide this month, and I want to remind everybody that there is help available through the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can dial or text 988 to get 24/7 support. It's so important, and I just want to remind everybody that it's available. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. As you can see, the month of August was super busy, and thankfully September is hopefully a little slower, so that way I can rest a little more. But I can't wait to see everything that I get done in September, so come back at the end of September and we'll do it all again. I hope you have a great day, and remember guys, normal is just a setting on the dryer. Bye!